Hello, hey everybody. So, firstly, thank you for the birthday messages. And I see the first person who joined is Unique971. Hello, Unique971. So, I'm going to speak in English. Posso anche parlare un po' di italiano. Je peux parler aussi un petit peu de français. Et podemos hablar también español. But I'm in a car and I'm going for a very short break. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to say hello to everybody, to thank you for all the messages, but more than that, thank you for all the support over the past few days, the past few weeks, the past few months, and more than that, because it's been quite an intense creative process, this new record, and I made some pretty serious decisions as to what I wanted to try and achieve with this album, with my collaborators. And so, looking at some of those questions that you asked on Instagram the other day, I thought that it would be way better, instead of just writing some kind of very quick answers to your questions, that I would just pick up the phone and speak to you directly. And so, yeah, I don't know what some of these requests to be. And no, you can't be in the live video with it. No, don't do that. That's not a good. Cuckoo. Hello, Anouk29. Hello, Italos Brito. Hello, all of you. So I've got an iPad here, and there's loads of questions on this iPad that you guys asked. I mean, there's tons. I think there were 1,200 or more questions that were asked. And as a result, I can't answer them all, but I'm going to just go through a couple of them now and try and see if we can get somewhere with this, and hopefully this will work. All right. Hello. Okay. So, what are all these? Whoa! So many messages. Hey everyone. Whoa. Sorry, I'm just reading all these. Thank you for the birthday messages. Gracias. C'est parti pour rien comprendre pendant le live, fans de Mikachu. Eh ben, ça va être surtout plutôt en anglais. Mais merci pour les oh my god, there's so many messages, I don't know what to do with these. Okay, so the first question that I wanted to answer was the one about all the theories on Twitter, and actually that was written by Wolf's Child. So Wolf's Child, I like that name, by the way. It makes me think of that amazing character in Glow, who's my favorite character on the TV show. I don't know if you've seen Glow, but I like it. And there's the one girl that's a wolf, and then she, or whatever, I'm not going to ruin it. And we're not talking about Glow, we're talking about Tiny Love. Yeah, I have seen some of those. I have seen a lot of those theories. I saw one written in particular by a Chinese fan who had written quite a serious and quite in-depth analysis of the video. Listen, there's a lot of truth in a lot of those theories. And the reason why, let's talk about the video as a whole. The video is made by a director that I admire a lot called Wiz. Wiz has made some amazing videos, and he has done stuff for Kasabian, for Oasis, for loads of different artists. But what makes Wiz different, and the reason why it was so exciting to take a song like Tiny Love and make it with Wiz, was because Wiz has this manifesto, this idea that he doesn't want to make promo music videos. He wants to make experimental films with music. So that really caught my attention. I saw him saying that in an interview, and he really means it. It's not fake. There's nothing jaded about what he's making. There's nothing kind of, oh well, we'll just get away with it. And often in music videos, there is a little bit of that goes on. And as you know, I'm a stickler for detail. I love detail, and I love thought, and I love intention. I think that the amount of work and time that goes into a 3-minute or 4-minute piece of music, that journey can be years. So why shouldn't the video also be super loaded, supercharged with emotion, with theory, with ideas, and that's what Wiz wanted to do. So he had a reflection on the video that was completely his own, but the weirdest part of it was that in a lot of his original ideas that he had after just hearing the song, he guessed so many things about the song. There are many different things loaded into this one song. It's not as simple as just a love song, and it's not sweet like a love song can be, and it's not a heartbreak song simply either. It's a journey. And in the video, there's a lot of references to different parts of that journey. Of course, there's a physical connection between me and the woman in it, who's actually called Ronke, and she's an amazing woman, and she's from Brighton, and it was really a pleasure to do this with her, and it was not easy for her in any way whatsoever. It was a real challenge for her, but also for me. But Ronke has this amazing physical connection with me, but also there is another side of it. There's a kind of platonic love that's suggested as well. So on one hand, it's a physical connection, it's a physical love, and on the other hand, it could be even maternal. So you've got all these different links. And she's a strong woman who also shows her tenderness in this video. So it's about strength, it's about weakness, it's about love, it's about resentment, it's about feeling trapped, it's about being set free, it's about the confrontation of all the different things that you have to confront in life, and how love plays a part in that, how it actually gives you a path. So that's why I decided to make that video. And so as far as the theories on Twitter are concerned, I hope that answers some of the questions. I'm not going to pin it down to one thing. I don't want to. But yes, a lot of those theories are correct. So, but not one of them is entirely correct, if that helps. So Anika Priv asked who helped make the video, and actually it's Wiz, so there's the answer to that. Meo Lini has a question. As a tall man, what was it like seeing yourself small in the video? Yeah, you know, I walk funny. I don't walk funny, but I have, as I'm tall, because I'm 6'4", a lot of people who are tall will tell you that they often don't hold themselves up like other people do, because you just want to be a little bit shorter. It's funny because they say that when you're short you want to be a bit taller, but when you're tall you just want to be a little bit shorter. Just this very strange thing. And I really, it was amazing to confront that and to let go of that idea of being tall. And it's funny because the video is not really about a tall person and a short person. It goes way beyond that. It's just a mechanism. It's just something that's part of the video. It's not everything. As far as the clothes are concerned, because that's also one of her questions, well, it's a mixture. There's some vintage clothes in there. There's some great young designers as well. There's one designer that we're really having fun working with that my sister Paloma found, Stefano Perotti, who is, I think they're based between Berlin and New York, and he's an amazing designer who makes very cool clothes. That amazing blue suit that I wear when I'm on the phone is his. And there's also a costume designer that works more in film and television that worked with my sister Paloma to make sure that this video didn't feel like a kind of fashion shoot, but more like a film. And that's a different type of styling. Did I put any secret messages? And this is from Irame TP. Yes, there's a lot of them. A huge amount. Many, many details. But Wiz also did. Wiz put a lot of things in there. Again, the strange thing about Wiz is that he guessed so many of those details and he put them in there. And that's what's amazing about what he did. He has intuition, which is essential for a director. Who is the, well, giant human? She's not a giant human. She's a beautiful woman who is tall. Sometimes we made her look taller using post and special effects, but her name is Ronke, She has a restaurant in Brighton, and she's an amazing woman. There's some questions here, like, can you tell a little bit more about the process of creating the song Tiny Love? The lyrics are very poetic, and so is the music. Did any other musicians or poets influence you? And this is from Ingrid Chant. And also there's another question here that I forgot where it was, but it compares the fact that there's 6 sections to it, just like in Bohemian Rhapsody, which is funny because originally there were more sections. Actually, there were like 11 sections to the song, and at a certain point I realized I had to cut it down somewhat, but maybe one day there'll be another version, or the demo will come out where there's like the 12 sections, and you'll see it's really long, and it's just a piano and vocal demo, and it's already works as a journey without any of the instrumentation. I wrote the song with David Snedden, so I want to talk about David Snedden for a bit. David Snedden is a songwriter, but he's also a singer, and he did a TV show years and years ago, and he behaved very badly on TV and off the camera as well, and it was all a little bit too much for him, and he decided that he wanted to be a writer. He is a very talented writer. He's a very giving and loving human being who, when you write with, it's not a standard songwriting session. It's a friendship, and it's very intense, and he gives a lot of himself and of his time. David did, I think we did 11 different trips for this album. 11 different trips, each one lasting between 6 days and a couple weeks over the course of a year and a half. Very few people write with you like that. Very few people invest like that, emotionally and creatively and with their time. So David and I would write every single day, and all we would do is just sit there drinking coffee in the morning and writing songs in a studio that I built for the purpose. I built a studio for me and for David in my house in Florida, in Miami, and that studio was designed to be a very, very, very kind of simple, functioning writing room. I filled it with shelves, and so it's full of shelves, and it's got lots of beautiful furniture, and then I put nothing on the shelves. And the lady, Elizabeth, who helped me design it, she was just like, so now what are we going to put? Some vases, some records? How about some of your discs or awards? And I was like, ugh, that's a horrible idea. The whole point of a studio is that you have shelves and they've got nothing on them. And she just looked at me just like, this guy's really strange. I mean, he's just spent all this money building shelves and he's putting nothing on them. I was like, no, the songs go on them. And it's true. You keep the shelves empty, you write songs, and you come up with ideas, and they kind of fill that space. You have too much stuff in a room, and you can't fill it. So one of these mornings where I was sitting there towards the beginning of the writing process, and I had this idea of My Name is Michael Holbrook and the Savannah, Georgia connection, which I've spoken about before, which is where my father's from. David actually had this kind of, he said this thing because he had gotten an email from his wife saying, you know, about like something about moving into their new place and all these boxes, and he looked at me in his Scottish accent and he was just like, do you realize it's just those tiny things that make you realize that you're happy or that you're in love with someone? And I just sat there and I was just like, oh, tiny love. That sounds like a good idea. And just from that, it all clicked into place, and we started to write and write and write. And I got so excited, I realized that this song, the writing process of the song, was making me happy. And I tried to understand why, and I realized it was quite a cathartic moment. Writing a song, instead of writing a formula, writing a landscape and going through this landscape. And this thing happened. I started to make myself happy. Like putting myself in a trance. I started through the writing process. I started to get sweaty. I started to get happy. I started to get high. And it lasted the whole day. And writing section after section, losing our voices, recording as we went, with my engineer Beatrice Ortola, who was in the room, who was just kind of trying to hold on, and both of us just got into this manic state writing this song, and every section that followed on one from the other. And so that is why the song was built like that, and it was a kind of medicine, and it worked. And so the version that you hear today is a finalized and a cleaned up version of that original writing day, and a lot of the vocals we hear were even recorded on the writing day. Does this music represent the universe of your album? This is from Helen.lay67. It represents the attitude of the album. It represents this kind of irreverence and this kind of attitude that I took on, which I really assumed, where it was just say, I'm not going to ask for permission. I really want to make music and make videos where I'm completely honest and I lay it all out on the table. No filters, no protection mechanism. But it doesn't mean that every song sounds like this one. I mean, the next song that you're going to hear is extremely romantic, but again, it's what's special about the next one that you'll hear after Tiny Love is that it's just pure melody and affection, and almost kind of like I wanted to make a song as sticky as possible in terms of hook and melody. And I've always had this idea that you could make a record that travels through emotion and also travels through time. Weirdly, that's what I did on my first album. I've never done that since. And I really felt like being free again and writing an album that really just kind of travels as much as possible. And that's what you're going to hear on this album. And it was only by writing in a little studio like that I was able to do that. So separating myself, writing with people that I love, and isolating myself in order to do so. What is the meaning of the female hand and the goose on the cover of the artwork? This is from Melody MFC. Well, there's many meanings to that. The artwork this time around, I'm doing it with my sister, of course, Yasmin, and Matt Maitland from an amazing art studio in London, design studio, called Big Active. And between the three of us, we kind of come up with these worlds that represent the records, and so you'll start to see that everything, just like the album cover, is divided into slices. The album cover represents slices of me, and the singles represent different slices of the song. So Ice Cream was the same, Tiny Love, and all the following singles will follow the same concept, but we're going to play around with it and try and elaborate it every single time. So the hand is about scale, the planets, the idea of feeling like when you're happy you feel huge, but when you're terrified everything feels so much bigger than you. And love has a similar, love, hate, fear, they all have that similar effect of changing the sense of scale around you. And the goose, well, anybody who really has done the interview research might know the connection with the goose. That's for you to find out, not for me to answer. Some things are best left unanswered. There's a really, really good question. Sorry, I don't know why this is doing this. And it's from, it's from Nupur Sharma. So Nupur Sharma asked, can love ever be tiny? Well, yeah. And why is that a bad thing? It is tiny, because the love that you have for someone else or for something is invisible. No one sees it. You can't kind of, you can only express it. But that invisible thing is probably one of the things that shapes the course of your life the most, So, can it be tiny? Yes. Can it be huge? Yes. But, I think also this idea that everything's got to be huge. We're living in a time of comparisons. This application, Instagram, is basically a giant provocation of jealousy. Seems to be the number one feeling that you get when you look at Instagram. You look at people and you see their bodies and you're like, oh God, wish I looked more like that. Or you see people on their holidays and you think, oh, I wish I had the budget to go on a holiday like that, or whatever. And everything's always got to be bigger, fancier, better, hotter, sexier. So I think now's as good a time as any for something like Tiny Love. Are you happy that your fans love this new record? From Irene Denigris. Yes, I am. I'm happy that it's intriguing you. I'm happy that it's provoking curiosity. I'm happy that you care enough to want to ask more, want to find out more. And that's really important because, you know, it's just like you work all this time on music and you want it to engage people. And so, yes, I'm very happy and I'm very grateful that I'm able to do this. And as much as I moan about things like Instagram, it also enables me to literally take the mouthpiece, take the microphone in my own hand and tell you things with my own words. Alors, Albert Arts, qui est en train de dire que merde, il y a des Français qui comprennent rien. Alors, pour un moment, je vais parler un petit peu en français. Alors, ciao. Six foot ouf. Pardon. Je suis en train de dire un truc qui est assez important, c'est que, en fait, il y a quelqu'un qui m'a demandé si ça me fait plaisir que les fans sont en train d'aimer ce nouveau disque, Tiny Love. Et oui, évidemment, c'est très important. C'est extrêmement important. Et ça me fait très plaisir, surtout parce que ça provoque une discussion. C'est intriguant pour les fans. Et ça, cette chose-là est la chose la plus importante. Parce que ça veut dire que pour vous, c'est pas juste n'importe quoi. Parce que pour moi, c'est pas n'importe quoi. Pour moi, c'est ce que je fais, c'est ma vie, c'est la manière que je m'exprime. Donc si ça vous interpelle, si ça vous provoque la curiosité, eh ben ça c'est la chose la plus importante. Okay, I'm reading through some of these messages here. Thank you very much for all the messages, really. There's a lot of them. Thank you very much. Thank you. So I'm gonna rest. From Fatima is asking me if I'm gonna go to Morocco for a concert. I hope so. There's none planned for this year, but next year I hope so. You know, I've done a few concerts there. I've done Mawazine a few times, and that has to be one of the funnest gigs. So I would be delighted to come back. Of course, it would make me very happy. Any excuse to go to Morocco, I'll take it. So I'm going to rest for a bit, and well, just for like 2 nights, 3 nights, and then I'm going into rehearsals, and I'm going to be preparing the shows. A show that's going to start off as a musical show, a very intense musical gig, which is the North American section, and then the show will grow and grow and grow, and get bigger as it goes into the tour, which is going to go around Europe. Obviously, the bigger arenas have the bigger show, the smaller places can't have that show because it literally won't fit. It's very different, this show. It's actually changed. It's changed because I've decided to change it. It's going to be very intense. The idea is that I really want a show that can make you think, can make you laugh, can make you dance like a maniac, but can also provoke a lot of emotion. And so I started doing a lot of housekeeping, cleaning things out. And so realizing kind of what is the most important thing in a gig. Sure, you need spectacle, you need show, you need moments of wow, right? But at the same time, the fundamental thing is that musically, it's as amazing as it possibly can be. and that the moments of spectacle and the musical moments are perfectly aligned. That's what you remember in a gig, more than anything, and that's what we're going to be working on. So the band is actually starting tomorrow, but my MD, Tim van der Kaal, has kicked me out because he wants time to work in detail with the musicians and set it up, and then I'll join them in 2 days. And so, you know, sometimes I just need to get out of the way so that I don't mess it up, because that's sometimes what can happen. Oh, 1 second. I'm going to look up these questions. Do you have any plans to come to Japan? From Haru Mika fan. Hello, Haru Mika fan. Why does my face look like it's painted in metal paint? We're at a toll. We're going to pay the toll man.
Yes.
Yes. We're at a toll. That's a lot of tolls. It's a lot of tolls. What do they do with all that money for the tolls? So yes, I want to come to Japan. I absolutely want to come to Japan. Those shows, from the NHK Hall to you know, all those gigs that we did with Smash in Japan, and also in South Korea. So from Japan to South Korea to China, I really want to do more gigs in China. So we are hoping to do those next year. That's the truth. And it's just about coordinating everything, because everything's come at the same time. It was kind of like a bottleneck, you know? Everything from the tour, the album, the singles. But I've realized that after 4 years of not really releasing music and doing lots of other things, which I'm very proud of doing, and I really enjoyed them, but now with music, again, I'm starting to make the turbine turn, and that's really important. And so we want to come and tour in all these places. We want to visit everywhere, from Morocco to, I want to go to Brazil, to China, to Japan, everywhere. But it's just about a matter of time. But now that the wheel is starting to turn, gaining a little bit of momentum, and the world has kind of changed, you know. It's in 5 years, it's a different market. But the one thing that is not changing is touring. And that is so fundamental and important to what I do. So getting the wheel turning so that the wheel can turn fast enough for me to go to all these places that I want to come and go to and visit you all over the place. I'm going to answer a couple more, and then I'm going to stop at a gas station and go to the toilet. Not on Instagram Live. Okay, what else? So, okay. Well, I didn't choose this question. Alex chose this question, but but I'll read it anyway. Did you expect Tiny Love to touch base with so many people? Brackets, and make me cry alone at midnight in my room. From Holy Guacamole. It's Ocean. Why do you have such strange names on Instagram? No. I didn't expect it to touch base with people in that way. For me and for my co-writer David, it was a really important song. I've got to tell you, I walked into a couple people's offices and I would play it, even some people that I wanted to work with or who I was considering working with, and some people just got it. They got the song, and others completely didn't get it at all. And that's okay. You know, a lot of the songs even from my first record have provoked that reaction. So I'd rather provoke I completely get it or I completely don't get it, it's not for me, those extreme reactions, rather than anything else, in my opinion. So that's okay. It's not the worst thing. In an interview, you gave the meaning of the artwork for Ice Cream, explaining all the different parts. Can you do the same for Tiny Love? And this is from Marinette Brun. No. I don't want to. Because sometimes you don't have to explain everything. It's not necessary. Sometimes you can explain bits. And Tiny Love is not ice cream. It's different. The best thing about ice cream, apart from the groove, is the way the lyrics are written. And if you ever just read the lyrics on their own, you'll see something so wickedly playful in those lyrics. But Tiny Love is a different type of song. It's not the kind of song where you want to go and explain every single thing. You just don't. It's too private. It's too intimate. It's too loaded. So, no, I'm not going to do that. But I hope you understand why I'm not going to do that. It's for the sake of the song. And I think we're lost. We are lost. We're lost. We're definitely lost. The car is stopping at a supermarket. Okay. I'm going to answer like 2 more, and then I'm going to say hasta la pasta. What about some merch? Tiny Love t-shirts, or My Name is Michael Holbrook hoodie from Zlatberikova. That's a really good idea, actually. Merch is going to be really cool for this next tour. And we're doing it, we're going to control it even more, because now I'm entering the phase of manic control. Because I've realized there's no other way to be. And you just need the best collaborators possible. I've got my sister, I've got Matt Maitland, we've got Alex Hutchinson from Fiber Abbas, we've got people like Wiz, Mark Crew, Dan Pretty, David Sneddon. You know, just surround yourself with the best collaborators possible who are full of love and enthusiasm and who are thorough and give good energy. And then you can be honest, you can be touching, you can be harder, but do it for a reason. And you can make good stuff that you're proud of and defend it honestly. I don't want to be surrounded by assholes anymore. And there's a lot of them out there, especially in this business. Protect yourself with the right gang. And I've got to say that the best gang that I have in the world is my fans. And I know there's some things you adore, some things that you like less, but it's all part of the discussion, and that discussion is worth everything. And I just hope that I can continue to intrigue you and to intrigue myself as well. And so on this day, my birthday, I'm 36 years old today, I thought it was a perfect time to answer some of your questions. But also, thank you. Thank you for the support that you give me. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the attention and the care. Yeah, that's it. No more assholes. Merci. Thank you very much. A big kiss, and see you very soon on stage.